So I'll try to start the intros from top to bottom, I guess. Everyone knows who I am, I think, but I'm Julian Gallardi, and we have a bunch of things going on. To my right is Dillard, good friend of mine on Twitter. We actually met in St. Louis. Chris, another good friend of mine, also does a podcast, New York Ties there. Then we got Rocky, Blue Jays Avenue Pod, Twisted Sports Pod, and then we got Rob. So we've been networking a lot, doing some mic shows. So everyone, I want to thank you guys for joining and making the time because I know like it's tough on a Sunday night sometimes. So I do appreciate
Sure,
it.
sure.
No time, no problem. Thanks for having us.
All right, so we'll start anytime, guys. So we'll start with this. I mean, the Yankees get beat down again, not competitive. The final score is probably even not what even indicates. Like it looks better than it actually was. 13-7. I'm saying that, so that just shows you how bad it actually was. Chris and Dillard. Well, I guess we'll start with you guys because it's like the Yankees fallout here is pretty rough. So like, what do you guys think has gone wrong mainly? Like, what's the main problem here? Do you guys think?
I'll start off. So they're chasing
Go
pitches
ahead.
at the strike zone, like we saw. Like Giancarlo Stanton did a couple times, Aaron Judge, and
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Savage's splitter was that good. So
Yeah.
that's one problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna pull some data real quick for that splitter of Trey Savage. As his or his last name implies, he was an absolute savage today. Yankees couldn't do jack
Huh.
against any of his pitches, especially his splitter and slider. His splitter, according to Statcast, had about 11 whiffs on 16 swings. His slider had 6 swings on 5 whiffs. So that's a 69% on the splitter and 83% on the slider. Yeah, you're just not going to get a lot of positive results when the guy on the other side is throwing such a dominant splitter slider combo. You know, his fastball looked pretty good, but obviously the splitter slider combo was deadly. Um, Yankees clearly looked like they didn't have a game plan going on. The Blue Jays had a game plan from the start against Max Fried. Obviously, worked out in their favor, jumping all over all of his pitches, working out the counts, getting on base, doing completely the opposite of what the Yankees did, which they weren't getting a lot of swings and misses against Blue Jay hitters, and that was pretty much the
No.
deciding factor. The Blue Jays just kept putting the ball in play, as they say, especially this time of the year. Just put the ball in play and good things will happen. That obviously was proven from the Blue Jays' perspective. And you don't put the ball in play, you don't get any good results, which is what the Yankees had. Just nothing but a bunch of strikeouts to show for it. Um, and I know the final score was 13-7, but it pretty much was very reminiscent of the last Super Bowl between the Chiefs and Eagles. Um, that wasn't the real score in my mind. The Blue Jays started putting out some of
Right.
their
Same.
lower leverage guys because there's no reason to put in their heavy duty arms at that point where you're winning 13-0,
Right.
13-1. Um, so I still, in general, don't think the offense showed up because I think even if they do put in their higher relievers and it's a closer game than what it is, there was nothing that was showing me that the Yankees were going to make any adjustments against any of their other relievers. So it's just the moral of the story. Blue Jays played a much better game than the Yankees did, and that's really all it comes down to.
Dylan, your barn is spoken on IG too, right?
On Instagram, I believe
Yeah.
so. I don't ever use Instagram though, but I have it.
All right, I'll just let it go. All right, I'll just tag it then. It should be fine. But so yeah, I agree with you guys 100%. Like the biggest contrast is that like they Yankees don't put the ball in play like Dillard was saying, and the Blue Jays do. Like Max Fried only had 14 Ks against Toronto coming into today in 4 outings. That is really bad. And then he only had one strikeout today. But the Blue Jays were on him. He had nothing for them. He wasn't sharp. They fouled off the pitches. Like they kept the counts going in their favor. Like Toronto's pesky. They're scrappy. Everything the Yankees aren't in the playoffs is what Toronto is. Like Toronto's built for October. The Yankees lineup still is not built for October after all these years. Like they just have two boomer busts, two home run reliance still. I know they won some games against Boston on a lot of bombs, but now it's coming back to bite them again. And like Dillard said, I agree. It's not even as close as the 13-7 would indicate. That was a blowout. That was embarrassing. Yesterday was a different story. I actually thought it was closer than the score would indicate because Blackburn came in late. It was 2-1 for a while, so I feel like it was a complete contrast.
Yeah, and that game by itself could have been much different if, your captain Aaron Judge shows up or Giancarlo Stanton, who has been very dependent on in past
Yeah,
postseasons.
we'll get to Judge.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. So, all right, let's go for the Blue Jays, guys. We've held it a little open. So, you guys tell us what you think went right and why you think the Blue Jays are up 2-0 right now, mainly.
You want to go off, Rob, or should I go off?
You go ahead. You start.
So, looking at this year, so this is the thing. The Jays' offense was bad altogether last year. They were bottom 5 in every category. And I said this.
Yep.
They hired David Popkins from the Twins organization in the offseason. And they had to change in philosophy. You look at George Springer. He had a bad year last year. And this year it seems like he had one of his best seasons of his career. You look at Vlad now, starting to wake up in the playoffs, and we know what Vlad is altogether, right? So it's a balance of this team. You got to look at the nitty-gritties. The Jays were number 1 in defense. The Jays strike out the least. They're like the Milwaukee Brewers. I kept saying this because they don't strike out a ton.
You did tell
Look
me
at the
that.
stats when he was at the Rogers Center. I think one game he had 3 strikeouts. The other game he had 2 strikeouts. And shocked to me the fact that you guys pulled Fried and Aaron Boone. So I saw something today about Aaron Boone. Let me bring that up for 1 sec.
Go ahead.
Apparently, he seemed kind of nervous heading into today's game. I don't know what it was, and I don't know what it
What do you
was,
mean?
but he didn't seem comfortable today, and it seems like it just unraveled altogether. And Fried in the
Interesting.
playoffs is his numbers don't look good. I mean, they're
Oh, not
yeah,
great.
like
Yeah.
if you look at his stats, I don't know what's up with him. Yeah, he did pitch well in that World Series year, but if you remember the remaining years, he pitched well with you guys the first game of the wild card round, but
Yes, he did.
on the road, it doesn't seem like he pitches well at all. And I think that could have been a thing. Maybe you guys should have flipped Rodon instead of Fried. We'll never know, but I mean, it's just
I don't know if that rest days would have worked though. Would that rest have lined up? I don't know if that would have been proper rest for Carlos. I don't think that would have been. When did Carlos pitch? Wednesday?
Oh yeah, he did pitch Thursday. It was Thursday.
No, that wouldn't
No,
have
that
worked.
wouldn't have worked, huh? No, Schlittler that pitch.
No, it was
Yeah, it
Wednesday.
was Wednesday,
Carlos was Wednesday. It was only been
Right,
3 days
right.
rest. No, that wasn't. They had to do it how they had to do it.
My bigger question mark is why was Will Warren pitching in this game? He shouldn't be in this series, period.
No,
Like you saw what
well, they had to today. They didn't have
Yeah.
a choice. Like there was no one
Yeah.
else. They burned everyone
true.
yesterday. I would have did it backwards. I wonder how Dillard and Chris feel about this. I would have used Will yesterday instead of today. I would have put him in after
Yeah.
Luis Hill yesterday, actually, instead of using because he did it backwards though. Because like now he was hamstrung because he had nobody left. And Will had to wear it. I was like, as soon as he was in there,
That was
like, he has
it.
to wear it. There's no one else. You can't waste anyone else. Like, he has to get through it somehow. And he did give it 90 pitches. So there was benefit. He hung tough. It was not pretty. It was not good. But he was put in an impossible situation. He was down 5-0, 2 runners on with Vladdy on deck. Like, that was not going to end well. And it's not Will Warren's fault. The game was decided before he even stepped on the mound.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it was 100%. Will Warren should have been on yesterday's game, and bullpen's been we used everyone in the bullpen yesterday, so we had no other option. And credit Will Warren,
Yeah, they literally had to.
and credit Will Warren, young in there like you said, and didn't really went the full innings that he's supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, you guys made a good point about Free. Do you think it's because he doesn't have velo? He's not good in October. Do you think that's part of the problem? Because I feel like you need velo in October. Like it's really tough to be a finesse pitcher in October. Like some guys could do it, but like you need put away stuff. And if his curveball's not working, he doesn't have put away stuff.
I'll go here.
What do you guys
Okay.
think about that? Anyone
So-
can say.
Okay,
Literally anyone.
Go ahead.
All right, Rob, you go ahead. Rob.
I think you're right. I think and his curveball is his best pitch when it comes down to it. And if his curveball isn't working, it's going to be hard for him to consistently get. Like he's more of a pitch to contact kind of pitcher, and he doesn't have that
Yeah,
swing and miss stuff because of the velocity, like you were saying. So I think you're right about that.
that's my best guess at it. I don't have what Dylan. How do you feel? Do you think I'm right?
Um, Obviously, we know that Max Fried is more of a contact manager than a strikeout pitcher, and obviously, I don't think the defense has been a lot better. Um, I thought going into
Yes.
even just the Boston series that this team, the two things that were going to stop them from advancing were their defense and their bullpen. How good is the bullpen going to be in a close game? And is the defense going to be able to lock up plays, especially routine plays? Because we saw so many times Jazz butchers a routine play, Volpe butchers a routine play. There's been a lot of defensive
Yeah.
issues, which doesn't really mesh well with Max Fried's pitching style because he's so dependent on ground
No.
balls. Um, I just think a big part of today was Max Fried just wasn't locating well. And if you're going against a lineup like the Blue Jays, just like I don't remember who said it, one of the Blue Jays guys, but they are very reminiscent of the Brewers. You know, they just put the ball in
That was
play.
Rocky.
And,
That was
Rocky
me.
made the
That
Brewers
was me.
point.
That was me.
yeah, they just don't put they put the ball in play all the time, and they just don't swing and miss. They make you pay. They put the pressure on the defense, and clearly that was very overwhelming for Max Fried because it had nothing to do with defense. Because a lot of these hits were either in the seats or they were double down the line, or
Yeah.
um, it was things that were completely out of the defense's control at that point, outside of whatever Aaron Judge was doing that allowed that triple. But outside of that, can't blame the defense for
Yeah.
this. Max Fried simply just he's got to show up and be better. He's got to have better command because his command was there against Boston. Completely different scene in
It
Toronto.
was.
It was pretty much it was the
Yeah.
tale of two cities with Fried essentially.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I like that. Yeah, because like he had conviction against Boston. The command was there. Everything was sharp. I also think it's like the Red Sox are not a good matchup for Max. They have a lot of lefties and a few switch hitters, and they don't have like their top guys like Roman and Marcelo's not a top guy, but he's like developing. So they had a weird lineup. Blue Jays lineup is way better than Boston. They are way better than Boston from top to bottom. So it was not going to be like the same. And the Yankees also didn't have home field in this series. They didn't have to go to Fenway. So that's another thing. Do the Blue Jays have Max Fried's number? I think you could say they kind of do based on what we saw today. And only striking out like 15 in 5 outings. That's 3 an outing. Like, that's really bad. Even if he pitches the contact, like, that's
Yeah,
unacceptable.
going back to Atlanta, they've really had his number. I mean, even when he pitched as a Brave, it seemed like
Interesting.
yeah, they've always seemed to be able to hit Max Fried well and see his pitch as well. It's just one of them things, I guess. But I mean,
Yeah.
he's been really good for you guys. So I mean, I don't know what the issue was today. Like you said, like you guys brought up, it's just locating with him, and today he wasn't locating when he faced the Red Sox, he was. So, you know.
That's a good point. So I would say like that's an issue. I think he was still worth the money. Someone was like he wasn't worth the money. He chokes in the playoffs. I'm like no, because first of all, like they wouldn't have even. Let me fix. Oh, sorry, but they wouldn't have even gotten to this point without him. Number one. Number two, like you can't just say he isn't worth it because one bad playoff start. Like yeah, his track record is not great. If he gets an opportunity in Game 5, which is unlikely, maybe he rebounds like he did in the World Series. Think about he got rocked and then he showed up when he had to. So I know his track record is uneven, but he did clinch the World Series, and that does mean something.
Yeah, if I could just go ahead and throw this out, um, I got to give just huge props to Toronto coming into the series because
Yes,
they
they
have.
deserve it. They've went and taken it.
And that's not something that I want to say of a division opponent, but if we're just going to say it how it is and not be a sore loser, the Jays have had the Yankees number in the playoffs so far, and they had it most of the regular season too, especially in the beginning of the year. Um, Trey was just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, basically, I felt
He's
like
a dog.
it was so reminiscent of what Boston had to deal with Cam, and I was like, okay, so now I know how Red
Yes.
Sox fans were feeling in that game.
I thought about that too. That was my first. That was one of my first thoughts as well. And I'll say this: if they left him in, he would have broke Cam's record of the 12 or whatever. Like, well, actually, it's not a record, but like he would have had more than 12 if they left him in. They took him out early because they were up by so much. The Yankees didn't get a hit off him. Like, they couldn't lay off the split, and they was getting thrown for a ball more times than not, and they still kept swinging at it. Like Rocky said, it was a different split than Gausman, so it wouldn't help them seeing Gausman that much. And then the way he releases the ball is like so high,
Yeah.
like it's hard to pick up. Like it goes like high and it just like drops off you. Then the slider is like goes downward too, even though it's not quite as good. It's still you have to account for. And like Dillard said, his fastball is looking good today too. Like he was on point. That was one of the best playoff starts to ever see. Rookie and
There was a
rookie.
pitch. Go ahead, Rocky. Sorry.
No, I want to say something quick about this. So the thing about Trader Savage is like I think it was Pitching Ninja that compared his the way he delivers his pitches like Justin Verlander in his early years of his career.
Okay.
That's something to keep a monitor. I'm not saying he's Justin Verlander, but think about this for 1 second.
Okay.
He started the league this season at low A, and he's here in the majors. Tells me that they knew, and this is what he said. He even said this himself. He's built for this, and this front office monitored his innings, and the reason why he didn't pitch too much because they want to make sure he's available later in the series if it goes to 4 or 5 games. So that's the reason why it's just like Gosman. Those guys are going to be available down the stretch if it goes the distance, right? So that's the only reason why I think they do that. But Rob, you go ahead. You said you want to say something about his pitch.
Yeah. I wanted to add on something to that. I just want to say I think Toronto has managed him brilliantly this year. The way they've used him in the minor leagues, right on through to the major leagues, like they prepared him for the moment today. So good job
They
on
did.
them. And I just wanted to say there was one pitch that he threw in against, I forget what batter it was. It might have been Aaron Judge, but it was a slider. They called it a slider on StatCast, but it backed up. It backed up like a splitter, like it went the other way. And I've never seen a
I think I know what you're
pitch do that
talking
before.
about. Is it like a two-seamer maybe?
It
Didn't
looks like a
identify it
two-seamer,
properly?
yeah, but they called it. He said, our broadcaster Dan Schulman actually said that's actually the slider. He said, and it like went the totally
Interesting.
opposite way. It was just very funky, man, in the way he does things, in the way he delivers the ball. So because he has that funky overhand delivery, right? So
Yeah. I mean, look, I told Rocky, I knew about Trey when you guys picked him. I was very upset the Blue Jays got him because I thought he slid too far in the draft. He went 10th overall. I thought he could have been way higher. He's a guy. He fought through adversity at ECU, pitching hurt, like small school, made a name for himself, became one of the best pitchers in the nation. And I was very excited to see his development. I wish it wasn't with the Blue Jays, obviously, but I knew he was going to be pretty good. I wasn't like completely taken by surprise from him. So that's just what I'm going to say. Chris, how do you feel about like how he did and like how he can be going forward?
No words to say. This is only his fourth start, I believe, and he got the better of us. Really, that splitter is nice.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I agree with you, Chris. So now let's get down to the nitty gritty. We'll go from Dillard to Chris, and then we'll go with the Blue Jays guys. So they're down 2-0. Do you guys think there's any chance they first do that? Can they avoid? Do you guys think they could at least avoid the sweep? And then the second player is there any shot they could win 3 in a row? Do you guys think?
It's gonna be a really tall task to ask them to win 3 in a row. I know a lot of Yankee fans, especially when it comes to X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it now. They love to get a false sense of hope that, just because something happened back in 2017 where they came back and beat Cleveland, that's magically going to happen this year. I don't think that those are even comparable situations because I think that this Blue Jays offense is just much more relentless than that Cleveland offense was. Although I will say I think the Cleveland pitching staff was overall better. But it's just going to be a really tall task. I'm not putting all my cards in one basket kind of thing. You got to take it just one day at a time. Carlos Rodon starts with him. He needs to show up. The offense needs to show up and show up early. Um, Hopefully, they don't have to deal with a starter for a while until Gossman that just repeatedly throws splitters at them, because I was just looking at Savage's StatCast profile a little bit more in depth. I know his sample size is pretty small, but on his splitters so far this way, it's almost a 60% whiff percentage, and hitters are hitting basically almost 100 against a splitter. Like, it's so.
I think he has the highest. He has the highest chase rate too,
That's
right?
what I
In
said.
the small sample size.
52.7% of
Holy
chase
shit.
rate.
That means they're not seeing. That means they're not
No,
seeing the ball. They
it's
don't
w-
understand.
Oh,
They're not
wicked.
picking it up. Like
your guys were on iPads the entire time looking at what they can do to hit that thing, man. They were just like, look, nothing.
Nothing.
They
And the thing
panned
is,
the
like,
cameras, and
you
it was
can't-
just guys on iPads.
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Christian Javier, how he used to own the Yankees with like those two variations of like the cut and like whatever else he was doing. Like he had like a sinker or something that went like two different directions, and like the Yankees couldn't touch him. This was like back in 2022, and
Yeah, so they called that split pitch the sword. And Buster Only, if you've seen what his tweet is, yeah,
wow.
that is something. I'll tell you what he wrote exactly. So this is what he wrote. Rob Friedman from Pitching Ninja invented the sword as a pitching statistic. Trey Savage's splitter might inspire others, the knee, because of the precipitous drop of the splitter. Trent Grisham went to his back knee twice. Cody Bellinger and Ben Rice each came close as they tried to track the ball. So tells me that it's going to be a hard thing to carry, because it seems like a pitch that it has been unusual in baseball. I'm curious to see how this is going to carry his
Yeah.
career, because like I said, he's going to be a lead rookie of the year candidate next year. The stuff is there. They felt like he was ready for the moment, and sure, he showed up big. And like Cam Schlittler did, these guys are numb about this. They don't know this feeling. That's why these rookies are getting called up significantly. Like these guys, the guys who want to be in those situations, they want to be in the bright lights. Whether for the others, if you look at Freid, you look at Gosman, they've been in there, but they know that these things can turn around. But these guys, these young pitchers, don't even know what's that like. So it's like Brett Saberhagen when he was with the Kansas City Royals in 1985 when they won. He didn't have any experience, and he was pitching out his mind in the playoffs as well. So those are the type of moments to.
it's happened
Yeah.
before.
Yep.
It has happened before. There's been a few
Yep.
examples.
Yep. So these are the things that shows up in bright lights, and the Jays do well when it comes to scouting guys. And Julian, we talked about this yesterday when just you and I were talking, and the pitching is going to be a key element. And like I said, pitching beats offense every day of the week, and especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, bro. Honestly, like, you're making great points across the board. The Blue Jays have been tough on the Yankees this year. And like I said, anyone saying the Blue Jays are frauds is ridiculous. Like, I never thought they were fraudulent this year. I know some Yankee fans wanted to flex them. Go ahead.
They're like the Yankees not even putting out smart at bats, which is like out of strike zone. Like that needs to be
You're right.
needs to be cleaned up as soon as possible. We're not gonna win games with that.
You're right. And guess who the biggest culprit is? Aaron Judge. We got to talk about Judge. I mean, I know he's getting a few hits here and there, but he's still striking out in 3-2 like in balls. The biggest spot yesterday where they need him, he strikes out again. I saw Dillard going nuts about it. I was going nuts about it. And like Chris, I didn't want to just pounce on Weaver because it was an offensive issue too. Like you were saying, the offense has been bad. And the biggest culprit, actually, I feel like it's really sliding under the radar, is Trent Grisham. He's been awful. He's doing nothing. He needs to get out of the leadoff spot. I don't want to see him leading off anymore. I said that yesterday, and after today, I don't want to see him leading off anymore.
Keith McPherson actually did a Twitter space, and I made a kind of a bad take. I said Trent Grisham needs to be out of the lineup, moves belly to center, and maybe put Jason then left for now.
I don't hate it, actually. I don't hate it. Let's see. Let Jason cook a little bit. I hate how they handled Jason's development this year. That's what I hate. So like I wouldn't be against that, honestly. Even if people, if I know it might sound crazy, but why not? You got to change something. Maybe Jason could get on there, like use the speed, steal a bag. Like maybe he'll run into one. They haven't seen him as much. Like the book is out on Trent. It's not as much out on Jason. And Trent also, let's be honest. I know his data looks good, and I've checked Savant, and like I talked to some other people about this, but like he's still playing way over his head. Like he's kind of due to fall back a little bit, and we might be seeing that at the worst time, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Yankee hitters, I said this earlier on X, that 7 out of 9 of the Yankee hitters in the lineup don't even have an OPS above 600. The only two guys that did in this lineup was Volpe and Judge. And even
Yep,
Judge's
you're
OPS
right.
is very misleading because that's been in crucial
It is.
situations where they're already out of the game. He's hitting singles with only nobody on base. He's not. He had the
Yes.
exact same opportunity that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had today. Bases loaded,
Yeah.
extreme tense situation, could have really put pressure on the Blue Jays, and Judge had the same opportunity. He just didn't take advantage of it like Vladdy. And I'm not even asking Judge to hit a grand slam or anything. I'm just asking, like, put the ball in play.
Get on
Keep
base. Take the walk. You swung at ball 4. Like, just at least move. Keep. You don't have to hit the granny, but like, keep the line moving at least. And he just fails in like the biggest spots time and time again in October. And like, it's so frustrating because he's the best player on the planet, arguably. Maybe Shohei Ohtani because like he's kind of but like, so top 2 player in the sport, and he just like doesn't get it done in October. I don't know what it is. Like, is it the bright? Is it the lights too bright? Is it they pitching him more carefully in October? I don't know. Like, it's not a small sample size. It's not a fluke. Like, there's a serious issue with him in October.
Yeah, it's a long enough sample size where I definitely
It's a
think
problem.
that any Yankee fan who's like, okay, enough is enough. I can't blame anybody that has that feeling.
I think most of them do, to be honest with you.
Even from the outside looking in, like it's baffling. Like you said, this guy's a top 2 player in the game. He just can't get it done in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. Like, I mean, he's great. He's Aaron Judge. He's awesome. You know what I mean? But when it comes to bright lights
Yeah,
turn on, it's
he
tough.
might win. He might win the MVP again.
Yeah.
He might get his 3rd MVP, and he should already have 3 because of the Altuve situation.
Well,
Yeah, well, but like, anyway, more importantly, but I don't know what's going to have to happen here for him to fix it. He's just not locked in October for whatever reason, like when he needs to be. And then the drop last year, I'm still baffled by. Like, that's a play he makes 999 times out of 1,000. Like, I don't even know how that happens still. It's just like such a choke job. And then like the last 2 games, he's choked in the biggest spots. Like, I just don't know anymore. Like, his legacy is going to be tarnished because of this if he never wins a championship. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He'll have all his counting numbers too, probably. He'll probably get his 500 bombs. Like, but if he doesn't win a ring, like, Yankee fans are going to look down on it because like that's how Yankees are judged. Like, there's no good. Like, I can't recall a great Yankee that people love that hasn't really won a championship. Like, maybe Mike Messina would be my closest one. That's unlike Tanaka, probably. Those are probably
Not
my 2.
Mattingly.
I also really like Jason Giambi.
Mattingly,
Mattingly,
yeah.
but that's like before my time, though. I'm trying to think more of like the near time, but Mattingly's the top one, yeah.
Actually, it's not related to this, but I thought maybe everybody would like to know this because I saw this fun fact like a few weeks ago for talking about Mattingly. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, every single season that Mattingly ever played, except for one, he never hit a grand slam. And then that season that he finally hit a grand slam, I'm pretty sure he hit 7 of them in one season, which is just it's so
yes,
bizarre.
Oh yeah, I think I see that before. You're right. I remember. I think I remember looking at that.
Crazy.
That is a wild
I
one.
wanted to talk about what you said earlier, Julian, where you were like, I never thought that the Blue Jays were frauds and stuff like that. Obviously, I agree with you. Blue Jays are a very, very well-built, good team. I think could go very far, and I wouldn't really be surprised if they did end up winning the whole thing. Obviously, we'll get there when we get there. There's still a lot of games and other series to be played, so there's still other things that Toronto has to take care of before they get there. But I absolutely agree with you that I do not think that they're frauds. I think that they're very well-built organization from top to bottom, whether it be the offense perspective, the pitching has got it done. That was always Toronto's biggest weakness, at least it feels like in my lifetime, has been their pitching. And both of their guys showed up.
Yeah, because their offense was always there, kind of. Yeah.
Well,
Um,
well, I could talk about that. So last year they were last in their bullpen, and their offense was bad last year. Like they couldn't hit for power. But what they did was,
I
yeah. So
remember.
what they did was Jordan Romano was a choke artist when it comes to blowing saves, and he's no longer with this team, and he's hurt with Philadelphia right now. They brought back Yimi Garcia, but he's hurt. He's done for the year. But the guys like Braden Fisher, that was a trade for Kevin Biggio. He's been a factor. Mason Flaherty, he was drafted 3 years ago. He's been a factor. Brendan Little was a waiver claim from the Cubs. He's been a factor. So with the bullpen, it's a quick fix, and you got to find the right guys. Like, and it doesn't cost much. Yario Rodriguez was another guy they signed. He hasn't been used in this series so far.
I love that. I
He's a
love
great
that
pickup
signing
for the
because like
Jays.
I was
Yeah.
watching him, and I saw him on the WBC, and like I'm Cuban, so I'll pay attention to Cuban players, obviously. So Yariel was the guy who was on my radar for a while. Actually, I wanted the Yankees to sign him. Actually, he has been pretty good. Like, he's not like a starter; he's more of a hybrid guy, but like
Yeah.
he can start in emergencies. He's useful for sure. I think that's a good shot by you. I like
Yeah,
Yariel.
and then you get Varlin, like I told you about, power pitcher who has 5 years of control. I don't know what the Twins were thinking. And Seranthony Dominguez,
the Twins are ridiculous.
yeah, I
He's
know,
been
right?
really
And then
good, too, Dominguez. Yeah.
and Hoffman was really good the first half of the season. He was a little bit shaky after that Yankee series. Once he pitched like 3 games in a row to win it off. But I mean, this bullpen's much better this year. That's when the big factor of what this team is, and getting a Bieber also is a big factor for them. They won 4 games with them. Every little thing matters in the AL East, right? Because the AL East is a tough division. Right? It's been like that for the last 25 years. Right? You could ask any team that's been around that's missed the playoffs.
The AL East is a beast.
It's a
man.
different animal.
I can't hear. Yeah, it's a different animal. The AL East, it's a beast, bro. Like you have to like really just be. It's a grind to 162. It's arguably the toughest division in baseball still. I mean, the Rays weren't great, but they still weren't terrible. Like the Rays weren't that they weren't good, but like they weren't like god awful. The only team that was god awful was Baltimore, but even they figured it out a little bit once they fired their manager.
Yeah.
So the AL East is a beast, and like someone made a good point to me today. They were like they didn't like the Yankees' path because they had to play 2 division rivals back to back, and it's like really tough to do.
Yeah, when you're seeing teams in your division in 2 playoff series in a row, teams that know you well better than anybody else, then yeah, that I agree, man. That's a good point. Great point. That's tough.
Yeah, I gotta shout out my boy from MLB Bro on that. He told me one of his guys brought that up, and he brought it to my attention. I was like, I thought about it, but like I didn't think about it.
Right.
Like it's one of those things that but then like you think about it more, you're like, oh yeah, that actually kind of makes sense. Yeah. So I mean, I'm trying to think. Volpe's actually been pretty good. I want to give Volpe some flowers, even though it was over 4 today. Like Dillard brought it up. I think he deserves some credit after all the seat he's taken this year. Austin Wells has been okay in certain situations. Bellinger, they definitely need more from, and Chisholm and everyone else. McMahon is like McMahon. He's gonna play great defense. He's
got
he's
his
alright,
clutch
but like
hits.
his
That's
defense
about
is
it.
good.
I mean,
but,
hits
like,
when we need him to.
yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to think what they're gonna have to do to fix this thing because they're probably not winning 3 games in a row. I do think they could possibly win Tuesday because Rodon might be in a better spot than Bieber right now, although Bieber hasn't been awful. But the Yankees have hit Bieber before, so I think it's possible they could at least win that one. If we get to Game 4, then it's Cam, who's been good, but the Blue Jays rocked him one time, and then he adjusted a little bit. He's not going to have a Boston start against Toronto. The Blue Jays are not going to go down like that. They're going to lay off his pitches that are out of the zone, too. And who would Toronto throw in 4 again?
We don't
Who
know
would you
yet.
guys
We
use
don't
in that
know yet. They
situation?
haven't.
Is that
they
the
haven't
bullpen
mentioned-
game, maybe?
It-
Be the
it
bullpen
might be
game with Lauer and Varlin, maybe Lauer.
Yario.
right?
It'll be a mix of guys. Yeah, it
Yario.
all depends, right? They have guys that can figure it out, but I don't know. It could be Gosman again, depending, and then Rhys Savage in Game 5 if it goes
Yeah, that
there,
Game 5
because-
start might be a Savage again. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great
Yeah, well,
point.
let me think. If Gausman pitched Game 1, how many days rest would he have for Game 4? Would he
He'll have 3 days
rest?
rest, but he only pitched 75 pitches, right? So that's
Was it only 75?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did kind of
Yeah,
pull
they
him
pulled
early
him
because things
early.
were getting
Yeah.
hairy. That's right.
They're thinking.
Yeah, he might. They might.
They're not.
I could see him
I'm
going
telling
like
you.
4 or 5 maybe, and then like they go to the net bullpen. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're not thinking lightly about this series because like they want it. They know that this is not going to be an easy series. This is the New York Yankees we're talking about. This is a division rivalry series, and you know, and there's ultimate respect with the Yankees when it comes to situations like this because you can never back down with a team like that because the Yankees have been in the playoffs nearly every year and they always compete. So and you can never say it's over till it's over, and it's far from over.
It's so crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy. This is the first time the Yankees and Jays have
Yeah,
met in
that's
the playoffs
crazy.
after
Yeah.
all
That
these
is
years.
crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't made the playoffs
So-
a whole lot over the years, but I mean, yeah, it's still crazy.
But still, you would think at least one time just by accident they would run into each other.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's shift gears here a little bit. Let's talk about Tigers Mariners. Who do you guys feel is a better matchup going forward? Like, and do you guys think the Tigers are going to take it after that surprising win last night?
Who would you rather face, or who's gonna win?
Both. Give me both.
I think the Tigers will be the harder team.
I really think that the Mariners not winning last night could really backfire on them with Skubal pitching tonight. I really think they needed that. I'm not saying that they're out of it yet, but after seeing what Skubal did to Cleveland, I know Cleveland is completely different offense than Seattle. I mean, they can't even get the ball out of the infield half the time. Still manage to score runs though, so if it works for them, it works for them. But I just think, yeah, going down 0-1, you got to face Skubal, and then you immediately got to go to Detroit. It's not a good position for Seattle.
No, it would be. Oh, you're talking
Yeah.
about Seattle. My bad. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm here obviously, so I can tell you that Game 3 is going to be rocking regardless. If they go up 2-0, Detroit's going to be a zoo on Tuesday. And that's a tough environment to go into. And they named Jack Flaherty as the starter, which I think is a savvy move instead of Mize, because I feel like Flaherty might have the kill shot post to Mize maybe. Although Logan Gilbert's pitched well in Detroit, so I understand why they saved him for Game 3. But the only issue is they can only use him once now. And the Tigers could use Skubal twice. Like, the Mariners are in a horrendous spot now after what happened yesterday.
So with the Mariners, the problem about the Mariners is that they strike out a boatload too. That's another problem with that team.
Yes, they're like the Yankees, kind of, in a sense. Like, they whiff. They're a lot of all or nothing too.
Yeah.
They have some speed, but like they really are relying on a home run ball, and they get it sometimes. They have a lot of pop with Randy, Julio, Cal, and now Eugenio, Josh Naylor. Like, there's a lot of pop in there, but like some of those guys are a little all or nothing at times. Like Eugenio, Brandy a little bit in certain situations. Julio's been great. Cal had a good game yesterday. So, like, honestly speaking, I mean, it's really, to me right now, like, the Tigers found something in Cleveland when they won that Game 3. They look like the first half Tigers finally that I've been waiting to see for a while. They finally figured it out, I think. And if they could ride that with Skubal, who's the best pitcher on the planet, I think, right now, maybe Paul Skeens has a say there. I do think Skubal's a little better than Crochet. Not a lot, but like a little bit, marginally. So, like, if it was me, I'd probably say a similar thing because, like, the Yankees have handled the Mariners a lot. Like, even though the Mariners team is different, the Yankees don't have issues playing them in most situations. The Tigers have given the Yankees fits. The Tigers have given the Yankees fits in October, even though it was a while ago. And Skubal has given the Yankees fits, obviously.
I remember that brawl between Romine and Miguel Cabrera a few years ago. Remember that? That was a hilarious one. I remember there was some feistiness between both. I think it was 2018 that happened.
Yes, I remember. I think I was getting my hair cut when that happened, actually. I like saw it on the TV. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah, so that was really interesting to me. I was like, whoa. But yeah. I mean, honestly, I think it's interesting.
Hey, I remember that.
I feel like the Tigers could play.
Cabrera. Yeah, I was just saying, like Miguel Cabrera. I remember he was doing some MMA stuff. He had his hands up. I was like, "What's going on?" And then
Yeah.
hell broke loose, right?
Yeah, that was some crazy situation. So like, we look at that, and then like you wonder. So like, Dylan and Chris, how confident are you in the Yankees Game 3 win? And then Rocky and Rob, how confident are you guys that the Blue Jays get the sweep?
How confident am I? I'm going to say maybe 50-50, I guess. To be nice.
Okay, you're on the 50 scale, Dillard.
I'm probably the same because they just haven't proven anything against Toronto. They haven't proven that they can handle them. So until they prove a little bit more with the bats and actually hit good starting pitching and not guys that are coming out for mop-up duty because it's 13-1, I'll have a little bit more faith and confidence. But as of now, it's still 50-50. I know they've hit Shane Bieber in the past when he was with Cleveland.
4.11 ERA, 27 Ks, 5 appearances in his career against the Yankees. I got to see if I can look at his playoff starts. I know the one time he only gave up 2 runs, and then we like carried that to like a win. They carried that to like a win, I think. But like it's been a while since they've seen him. He's been hurt for a while too.
Yeah, they might win one game, but outside of that, I'm not really that confident in them winning anymore until they can get that splitter down, because you just can't keep getting into 2-strike counts with a splitter like that with a guy who has that much command, whether it's Gossman or Trey. They clearly do not have a good game plan when it comes to the splitter, and obviously that's been shown the last 2 games, especially
Yeah,
tonight.
and they're gonna see that. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, they're gonna see that again too. Like they're gonna see those guys again, even if they get far enough to do this thing, which is very debatable, obviously. But let's say they do, they're still gonna have to figure out how to hit that pitch, and they haven't. At one point, they were 0 for 19 against it. Like you got to be kidding me. Like you can't figure out anything better than that. Like it's so embarrassing. Like I don't even know. Like I really don't. I kind of agree with you, Dillard. I could see them winning a Game 3 because they've hit Shane before. But outside of that, like I don't know, man. Like I remember the one time they actually rocked him in the fake season. I just remembered. It was like 7 runs and 4 2/3 in 2020, and then I'm trying to see in 22 what happened. I think it was why is it not coming up? This is really annoying. Hold on, I'll get it. But like, anyway, like I just think that they could get him, and Carlos Rodon has to be good. Carlos Rodon, like there can't be any issues. Carlos has to he has to be really elite. If he's not elite, the Yankees are done. Like they need an elite start from Carlos Rodon.
He has to go the full 7 innings, I think.
At least 6. At least 6 at a minimum.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I just want to say, I
Go
expect
ahead.
the Yankees to come out firing on Tuesday. Their season is on the line, so they're gonna throw at everything. You have to try to prevent yourself from being swept. So I expect that to happen. And then with Bieber, yeah, and I get that he does throw the fastball up in the zone a little bit here to give up a cookie cutter, whatever, to give up home runs here and there. But his secondary stuff is really good, and I'm curious to see how his first performance with the Jays would be in the playoffs, because different philosophies, different organization, different defense too, because he's a fly ball pitcher. So the Jays have good defense overall on that. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But I do expect the Yankees to come out firing. They should be all in for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Bro, they got to throw the kitchen sink at them, like you said. It's all hands on deck. Whoever has to pitch on short rest or anything, or they have an off day. If you have to use a starter to get a few outs, you do it. Like, it doesn't matter what you have to do. Like, you got to try to just extend the season and live to fight another day. I mean, the atmosphere and the crowd will be in the Bronx, so it should be a favor or something. But here's the problem. If the Yankees go down early, you're going to hear a pin drop in Yankee Stadium. Like, the crowd is going to have nervous energy on Tuesday, and they're going to want to believe, they're going to want to support, and I think they do kind of think they could at least win a Game 3, but they have to get off to a good start, and then the crowd has to carry it. Like, they need the crowd energized. It has to be a factor. If they don't start well, they might be done.
And that's what the Blue Jays have to do. They have to go into Yankee Stadium and take the crowd right out of it. I agree with you there. I think the crowd's going to be, They're going to be pumped, man. It's everything's on the line. As for my confidence in that game, I mean, I got to be confident in the way the Blue Jays have played. But do I think that they're going to go in and win Game 3? I don't know. I'm probably 50-50 like you guys, because I think winning that final game is the toughest game to do, man. It's the toughest thing to do in the playoffs, is get that final win and
Yes.
close it out. So, that's going to be the toughest thing for the Blue Jays to do, is get that final win. So I'm probably with you guys on the 50-50, man. I mean, we've had our struggles against Rodon. So, I mean, if he comes out and beats elite Rodon, like you said, Julian, it's going to be tough, man.
Okay, let's go through his starts against Toronto this year, because it wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. 5 innings, 5 innings, 4 Ks, 4 Ks, 2 runs, 2 runs. So here's the thing. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it on Tuesday. He needs to go. I mean, 2 runs. If he's going to give up 2, he needs to go at least 6, maybe even 7, like Chris said. The bullpen's in a horrifically bad spot. You don't want to go to Luke right now in high leverage, unfortunately. And then Chris, you could talk about this too, because Luke. Like, what do you think is going on with him?
I think it's definitely like either a pitch selection or a command issue with him. I mean, the four seamer still fits at like 95. I don't think it's like any loss of velocity, or it might be like an internal thing with him. To be honest with you.
Do you think he's fully healthy? Because they did rush him back, like Rocky was talking about, and he hasn't been the same pitcher since he got hurt.
I can't argue that, really.
So I guess, yeah, I think he's banged up still, and like
But he's
just
still
not
like
feeling himself.
he's still hitting like 95, 96 in the four seamer. So I don't know.
Yeah, but like he could do that, but like the breaking stuff isn't there, like the command isn't there, like he's just a little bit off. Like, is he compensating with something to try to help the injury? Like, you never know.
Yeah. Only
Just
he
like
knows.
he just hasn't been the same dude like since he got hurt. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. So Dillard, give me your trust tree, which is probably extremely small. But give me your trust tree on Tuesday. Give me like your top 3 to 4 arms that you would be okay with seeing on Tuesday.
Oh man, that's so hard to say, because I quite literally don't trust like really anybody in this bullpen for the most part.
Just say it completely. That's I challenged you here. I
Because
gave you
I
a
think,
challenge.
like, realistically, if they want to win, Carlos needs to go 6-7 innings. He has to have that slider
Yes.
working, and he has to have good fastball command.
Yep.
Get up in the count very early, and then put them away with the slider. Don't leave it hanging, especially to someone like Vladdy, because he will punish that. But there are some Jays hitters like Kirk and other guys that do struggle with the slider, and we do know Rodon's best pitch is by far his slider. So if he doesn't have that working, I don't see a world where they win that game. I know there's been more wacky things that have happened in playoff baseball, but he's got to have the slider and fastball working, especially the slider is a good put-away pitch.
No, Dill, I agree with you 100%. He's going to have that going. And Blue Jays are going to sweep. I mean, they might. Do you guys know this guy? I don't know. BTM Post 33. I mean, I'm not going to say they might.
I'm not. We're not thinking
It's
about that.
possible.
Yeah, man. I'm not saying anything, man. You guys are a good team, man. I'm not.
No, we're it doesn't matter because like
entertaining that.
we've faced each other how many times this year? I think was it 13, 15 going to
now,
16
I guess,
now.
15 in theory.
Something's gonna
Yeah.
give for the Yankees at some point. You know what worried me a bit about the Jays, and I get it. They were using not their high leverage guys,
I know
and
what you're
the
gonna
Yankees.
say.
The Yankees.
Let's hear it. Give me
The
something.
Yankees
Give us some
scored-
type of
the
hope. So
Yankees
let's hear
scored-
it.
Wait, Yankees scored 5 runs in the 7th inning, and that's giving
They
giving
did.
them momentum to score runs and figure out some things heading into Game 3. And and I get it. Look, the thing is that Aaron Judge needs to be better, and I think he's just reeling. I don't know what it is with the playoffs, and some guys are like that in the playoffs. I think Barry Bonds had that issue for years until near
He
the
did.
end of his career. I believe Mike Trout's only been in the playoff once, so there's not much of a legacy there for him. Clayton Kershaw's another
No.
one. He struggled in the playoffs
Struggles,
too,
yeah.
until the
He did, yes. And Dillard's a huge Kershaw
so there's
fan,
a
so I
track
know he could
record. So,
definitely
but
talk
I
about
mean,
that.
they're Hall of Famers. But one thing I think the Blue Jays got to a certain player really well, and he's always been a thorn on the side in the playoffs. Is Dan. they pitched to him really well this series, so that's something I think the Jays scouted pretty well on that. And there are certain moments, when Stan does throw, he's a low ball hitter. When he hits it, he hits moonshots.
Yes.
He hit tanks, just like Judge.
But he could also get the high
He
ones too. If he hangs something, he's gonna
occasionally,
crush it
yeah,
as well. But he is a good low ball
but with
hitter.
with the velocity, sometimes he doesn't change. Like you saw what he did with Louis
true,
Barr. I
it's
think
true.
with the hanging curveball slider, he does tend to hit for bombs. Like he will hit those, man, out of the stadium, man. It's insane, right? So I can't say it's over at all because there's still another game to go, and I don't expect this series to be done. So I mean, I just take it one game and see where things go. But I'm surprised that the Jays scored this many runs today. But what I'll say is that if this is what Vlad is in the playoffs, it changes the lineup drastically. And remember, no Bo Bichette in the lineup as well, or Ty France. So that also comes as factors. But it's just the nitty gritty names like the Bargers, the Clements, the Nathan Lucas, who's been in the minors for 10 years. Like a lot of things have.
That's
Now,
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
He's-
Wow.
it's great scouting with this front office, man. And you have to
Yeah.
also remember another guy that's also in the Jays front office gets slept on is James Click, who was with the Astros when they won those World Series those 3 years. That's
Oh
a big guy.
yeah, I didn't even know he was
Yeah,
in the
he's
Jays
there for
office, actually. When did you guys
2 years
hire
ago,
him?
February 2023. So that's also comes as a fact. Also, they have
Interesting.
David Bell they hired in the offseason as a developmental assistant as well. So they have a lot of these names. And Mark Shapiro is going to get extended with the Jays in the offseason. So it's a big win for him.
I remember when you guys
Yeah,
wanted to fire him, and
yeah,
the hell was
yeah.
the news. You thought the sky was falling down.
did,
Just look at
man.
how everything's changed. Like all I kept hearing about was how he had to get fired, how John Schneider had to get fired, and like how you guys had to blow it up and everything. Like now look at how far they've come. And who would have thought after all the stuff that happened in the offseason, all the debate about Vlad resigning or not resigning, and like all this other stuff, like the Blue Jays did a complete 360, and the Yankees are stuck in the mud. Like they're stuck in neutral, actually going
Don't forget
reverse,
about
so.
Don Mattingly. We all wanted him fired too, man. Everybody.
No, Donnie baseball's on the wrong side still. It's a real shame, but the Yankees don't want to hire him for some reason, so I don't know.
No, like the thing is,
All right, we'll close down soon,
let
probably.
me say
but
something
go
quick.
ahead.
Like and you said this. Remember, I was in a space with you. I think earlier this year. Like I just don't know what this team was. But making the moves, they were going for it. And like I said, the moment Vlad signed that $500 million contract, I think everything just sunk in. And apparently, what I was told that the guy who leveled everything and this team was almost going to a rebuild was George Springer. He was a leader in that clubhouse, and you saw what he's done this year with the Jays this year. So I think that's important too. Clubhouse presence and leadership comes in a big role with so many teams that are trying to win.
Yeah, no, yeah, I hear you. And Max Fried has a 5.31 ERA over 77 playoff innings right now. Not too good, obviously. And then yeah, it's just a tough situation. Like actually, I do need to bring something about Giancarlo Stanton. Some of my friends are working the game at Yankees and like in the box, and they told me they think Stanton's still banged up after he fouled that ball off his foot. Like he hasn't seemed right. I don't know if that's if he's dealing with something, but like postseason Stanton has not arrived, and that's a huge problem because Aaron Judge needs someone to compensate for him, unfortunately, because he can't carry a team in October. And last year he had Soto, and Soto's not here with them anymore. And I think that Soto's presence is now finally being missed. It wasn't missed during the regular season, but now on Soto, because he made the lineup deeper, he protected Judge, and like it just made the whole team better. But I do think it's much better. Like I told Rocky, there's no Rizzo, there's no Verdugo, so like Rice or Goldie upgrade, and then whoever's in the left is an upgrade. Well, Trent Grisham's actually been playing worse than Alex Verdugo, so maybe he's not an upgrade. He was for the regular season, but has not been for the playoffs. So how did Chris and Dillard feel about that? Maybe you two could talk about that from an outside perspective.
Do you want me to go first? Or
Yeah,
do
you go
want to
first.
Yeah, run it.
It's so hard to say because I loved watching Trent Grisham this whole season because he has come through so many times and late inning high leverage situations like the Astros series, for example. He came through so many times against them, so many other teams in the regular season, but at a certain point, you got to lock in and you got to perform better in October because, like I said, he is one of the 7 guys that was in the lineup with an OPS below 600. I don't remember exactly what his OPS is, but
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken,
I have it. I have it in front of me.
okay, so
427.
that probably
He's hitting
he
150.
probably has the lowest OPS on the team, if not very close to it.
Chisholm 423, which is even more surprising to me, because like he hit a few balls hard yesterday, got robbed on one, and he did have a hit, but like he's been pretty bad too. Yeah, Volpe's down to 737. Judge is 1,024, so misleading, like you said, honestly, because it's very empty. Goldschmidt's had a good postseason in a small sample size, but he can't hit against righties anymore, so he's not going to get that opportunity. I agree with you, Dillard, on that. But what are your thoughts on Soto and like him not being with the playoff roster this time? Like, do you think he would make a difference if he was on this team?
Oh yeah, no doubt in my mind.
100%.
It's not even a question. After what I saw him do last year, that's why it sucked to not have him come back because I knew what kind of caliber player he is when it matters. When their season's on the line, I can trust that guy every time to get the job done.
I agree with you 100%. And people are really disrespectful for him, downplaying his departure, saying, "Oh, they got Rice, they got Grisham, they don't need him." That's nonsense. Like that was always nonsense. Like they had good seasons. Even Bellinger had a good season, but like none of them are Soto. Stanton's not Soto. Judge is not Soto in October. He's one of one, honestly. And it was a big whiff not to have him back. I know it was a lot of money, but like it's still. This is where you really missed him. Like you can go through the regular season without him because you have enough depth. I mean, maybe they win a division. Who knows? But it's not. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough situation. Chris, how do you feel there?
Yeah, like you guys said, it's a tough situation. I mean, I get it. Soto was not the greatest defender, but for Gen to see, we need hits, and Soto did provide those big hits, and I'm not there. And obviously, you see Judge struggling, and Soto always protected Judge. So, unfortunately, Belly's not that guy. But I don't know what you're gonna do.
No. Someone told me they thought Belly was banged up too because he had like a situation with a slide in Boston or something that he might not be 100% right. But it's October; these guys got to play. Like they're not going to sit out. Like they want to help the team win. So if they're banged up, they're going to try to battle through it. But they might not be fully effective. I don't know. I'm not going to fully say that's the case. It could be a possibility. Same thing with Luke Weaver. Also, Luis Hill is also not right. Clearly, still, you can see he was in surge mode yesterday. His season's been a little bit rocky, and he's not even as good as his numbers indicate. I know Dillard knows this as well as I do. Like he was due for serious regression, and we saw some of it yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say with just to further drive in the point that this team really misses a hitter like Soto. I knew I don't know, like they say that like you kind of have like an epiphany moment that you just know that this guy has the it factor, he's going to be good. I knew that with Juan Soto ever since they beat the Astros in the World Series. I mean, that Astros team, regardless of how you feel about Houston, that was one of the best lineups I've seen put out, and their pitching staff had Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander, and Soto didn't give a damn. He's going to go out and do what he's going to do. Yeah. He's going to hit bad pitching. He's going to hit good pitching. He's just that kind of a game changer. So it does definitely hurt this team 100% that he is not here.
I have to tell you, Dill, the one moment that stands out to me, and I think you'll agree with me, is when Verlander brushed him back and he took him upper tank, and he basically shoved him. He basically gave him a middle finger and flipped his bat. He's like, "You want to brush me back? Watch this." And he freaking tanked one up against him, and he helped. And the Astros ends up with it. I mean, he ends up beating Houston and Houston. Like, Soto was always that dude. Like, that was like when I knew he was that dude. Like, once he hit that tank off Verlander, I was like, all right, this guy's here. He's like barely even 21. He's still doing this. Like, it's just like you don't see that. Like, that's why he's one of one. And he has he's the closest eye we've probably seen to Barry Bonds since that Barry too, which is crazy as well. And like he's really surprised this year, almost going 40 for 40. No one saw that coming. Even though he didn't have the best year, like he was not good in the clutch, which was surprising to me during the regular season. But I do believe if he made October with the Mets, I think he would have figured it out.
Yeah, there's no way. He's too talented of a hitter.
Bro, He was 20. He was 20 years old when he did that to Justin Verlander. 20. He couldn't even legally drink a beer when he upper tanked Justin Verlander. Like one of the best pitchers of all time. Brushes him back. He just takes to the upper tank. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, that's the thing that sucks. That's the thing that sucks is that obviously Cody Bellinger had a good overall regular season. Trent Grisham had a good overall regular season, but especially for Trent has just been an absolute no-show. You would never have to worry about
Yeah,
Juan
I
Soto
know.
being a no-show. At least I'm not of the believer that there's
I
no
agree
reason
with
I
you
should.
100%. It was just
There's no reason I shouldn't have 100% faith and trust in Soto, considering the type of player he is.
look. I mean, sometimes you are what you are, and the back of Grisham's baseball card is not that inspiring, other than this season, if you look at him offensively. So he might be getting exposed at the wrong time, unfortunately.
Yep.
So Rocky and Rob, how do you guys feel about like Soto not being there? Like, how much of a difference do you think that would make if the Yankees were able to retain him? Like, how about this? How much more worried would you guys be if Soto
Extremely
was in the
worried.
Yankees lineup? That's probably the
Absolutely.
Extremely worried.
Absolutely.
Extremely worried. And here's why. Look at where Juan Soto has played in the playoffs every year. Every year he's in the playoffs, he's thrived in the playoffs. He's performed. If you look at Washington, what he's done. Look at San Diego, what he's done. And the Yankees last year, especially when he hit that mammoth 3-run shot in the playoffs to clinch the World Series. And those type of batters don't come around. And look, the Mets were desperate to pay all that money, even though the Yankees were right there as well. And more importantly, you got to look at it this way. It's going to come down to what the Yankees want to do, depending how the series ends. I'm not going to rule the series is not done, but like what they want to do in the offseason.
Yeah, we won't have the Swan. You know what? We'll save the Swan
Yeah.
off season.
Yeah, but with
That's
Juan-
for another day. It's like
right,
we've
with
already
Juan
done
Soto-
enough. They're not done yet, technically. So like,
Yeah, with Juan Soto, I think it's
Go
a
ahead.
bat, it's a missing bat for sure. Like you don't find bats like that in today's baseball. That's why the Jays had to lock
No.
up Vlad long term because
he's-
teams wanted Vlad.
he's
Yeah,
irreplaceable.
it's just like Vlad with the Blue Jays, just like Aaron Judge with the Yankees, just like Ohtani with the Dodgers. Those type of bats are hard to find in today's baseball, and we don't know if we're going to see another bat like that anytime soon.
Yeah, he absolutely changes the dynamic, man. Just when it comes to seeing pitches and everything else, in front of the guys ahead of like protection, right? So everything Rocky said, man, double. Like the guy's a stud. Everything you guys have said, all you guys, like you're not wrong. You're missing him for sure, and you're feeling it because he is that good.
Yeah, so like I'll go quick to this, not wrong. The biggest issue with the Yankees right now is definitely their bullpen. Like they gotta fix that in the offseason. Regardless of what happens here, they gotta fix their bullpen. And then like they probably need another bat or two somewhere. Like I don't know exactly where, but like I would probably let Grish go because he's gonna get overpaid. But I'm not gonna go too much. That's just my little quick synopsis there. Chris and Dylan, you guys can go. Like, what do you think needs to change quick? Like, if they get bounced, like, what's the first thing you need to do? Like, cool. Aaron Boone could be hot. He hasn't done anything really in the playoffs. They won't fire him, but like, it's definitely a conversation worth having. They won't do it probably. Same thing with like other things going on with the analytics department and other stuff in the org. But like, how do you two feel?
I will come out and say I'm probably one of the few that believes this, but I'm not necessarily the biggest Aaron Boone hater because I do think quite a lot of the time these players are just putting themselves into terrible situations and they're just not responsible enough to get the big hits that they need to. And I don't believe, I
That's
don't
not
believe
on him,
that
you're right.
it impacts the manager at all because he can't go up there and
Okay,
swing the
fair.
bat. He can't go up there and
That's fair.
he can't go up
That's
there
fair.
and tell these guys not to keep getting in 2-strike counts against a splitter that they know they can't hit. But I also do believe that if they do let Aaron Boone go, which I don't think that they will, I'm
Probably
not going
not
to like
yet.
absolutely hate it, but I also wouldn't see a problem with it because I think at this point, considering the current track record of their postseason failure,
It's
I
all
think they
stale.
could use new minds in the organization, whether it be from the analytical standpoint
I
or
think
the
they need
manager.
to. Yeah. both of it, and then like I think James Rosen should be a little bit hot, even though they hit well in the regular season. Like in the playoffs, like they just keep failing every year. Like, and then the only thing I'll say about Boone, but this is also an organizational problem. It's not just him. Some of the bullpen decisions have been really bad in October, and they've really hurt the Yankees. Like you look at the Nestor and Tim Hill situation that you could beat with a dead horse. Like that just made no sense, and like there's so many other ones you can go back to too, but. That's not all on him because I know those shots get called from upstairs. So like you have to really evaluate all of it.
Um, I wish I wasn't saying this. I wish that they didn't have to go out and get new bullpen arms, but it seems like that's the reality of the situation, is that they got what they thought was going to be their super pen, and really none of these guys have panned out the way that they wanted them to pan out.
Except Bednar. I'll give Bednar some credit. So my trust tree for Tuesday, we didn't get to it. Tim Hill, Timmy Hill, then it's going to be Bednar and Devin Williams. That's the three guys I want to roll with on Tuesday.
It's crazy you're saying Devin Williams, but Williams has actually showed up in the playoffs so far.
I know. It sounds nuts. He's on a 360. I would put him out there. They're going to need him. Chris, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, like mentioned, I think the problem is an Aaron Boone, more than Aaron Boone, but I don't think he's the solution either. I agree they're not going to fire him.
I agree with you.
They're not going to fire him. It is what it is. But then again, it's like the lineup construction. Like we didn't have a consistent leadoff hitter until Trent Grisham, and obviously, like the at-bats players are given are like totally unacceptable. Obviously, the player development, like we mentioned,
so, like, what would
player
you change
development
from
too. Also, like Jason Dominguez didn't develop, and like we hyped him up as the Martian, and we still haven't seen. He was actually supposed to be like a rookie of the year candidate, and we haven't seen close of that.
No, we haven't, unfortunately. So, like, what would you do from a personnel, like, player standpoint? Like, what do you think they have to do to shake up the roster if you were going to make a few moves in the offseason? Not names, but just, like, areas of needs, maybe, that you think they need to address.
It's a good question. Well, it all depends on where Garrett Cole is. We might need another arm to start the 2026 season.
Yeah, it's possible because, like, are we trusting Hill that much? How much trust do we have in Warren as a back end? You look at Cam, Fried, and Rodon are locked in. Clark is not going to pitch next year probably. Garrett's probably like June-ish, I think. I think that's the synopsis right now. I mean, you probably put Hill or Warren in the back end. Could you move one of them? You probably could, honestly. You maybe not. Both of them might be a little redundant at this point. That's definitely a possibility. So, Rocky and Rob, from an oppositional standpoint, what should the Yankees change if they get bounced early by Toronto?
So this is the thing. So Bellinger and Grisham are free agents after this year. What do you do with Spencer Jones?
Yes.
He should have been up, but I understand. And what do you do with Jason Dominguez?
many
That's my
outfielders.
issue. Like,
That's a good point.
is Jason Dominguez going to be part of the solution of this team? Is Spencer Jones going to be part of the solution of this team? Because I heard something else about the Braves going after. I mean, not the Braves. Well, it's the Braves, I suppose. So what I heard is that the Yankees could potentially go after a big bat in the offseason. Could be an Acuna. It depends if
Okay.
Tatis is available because San Diego just don't have it. I just don't know. You can't trade Machado. You can't trade Bogarts.
That's
Right.
who I would want.
Well,
Actually,
Machado
from
makes
San
sense.
Diego. I
Right,
would
but
take
I
Machado.
think if the contract that's tradable for the Padres is Tatis, and they would ask for the
I
haul.
guess because he's so young.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I feel like there needs to be a spark. Like I know Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole are the guys, and now Max Fried center. You need to expand a little bit and try to get more guys. You got to be on. If the prospects are not going to fit in this team, you got to upgrade in some sort of capacity and use those assets if that's the case. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, if you look at it this way, for example, Chance Adams, he was a top 100 prospect. Ivan Nova,
Oh
man,
God,
Jesus
Chance
Martin.
Adams.
Yeah.
I heard Chance Adams was not a good. I heard Chance Adams had major attitude and makeup issues. By the way,
Right.
someone in the minors told me he was not. He
Right,
just wasn't
and the thing is that it's the track record of these prospects. If they don't fit in this organization, maximize your return with the players like that. And if
The Yankees don't
No,
do a
they
good
don't.
job of that.
That's a
This is a very
problem.
good point. So, like, here's the thing. They wait. Look at Peraza, Andujar, perfect examples. Even Quinn to a lesser extent. And then like I don't know if there's a path for Jones and Dominguez. You might have to choose one. I'm not sure if there's a way you could play both of them together. I'm not sure if that's a realistic thing, unless you let Grisham and Bellinger walk, which I feel like Cody will return. I think Grisham's ends up walking.
Right.
But who knows? I might be off, but that's my guess early. I don't know anything. I haven't talked to anyone about it yet. That's just like what I'm thinking.
And the bullpen needs an upgrade. That needs a fix.
Yeah.
Like you got
Yeah, we're gonna need like 2 or 3.
Right,
They're gonna need
and
2 or 3
Jake
arms
Bird.
in there. Can they fix
That's
Jake
right.
Bird?
Right.
Wow, it's so funny. We said that at the same time.
Right? No, because I look at the packages you guys gave up to go get Duvall and Jake Bird and Bednar. Like, I mean,
Hey, Duval showed up.
Duvall might move up the
Duval
totem
showed
pole.
up
He
yesterday.
might. Yeah, but
He might have to be in that little trust tree too. He might be in that
Right.
3 to 4 range possibly, which is scary in itself too, because he was really bad for most of the time since the Yankees have acquired him. But like, it's all hands on deck. You're gonna have to hope for the best.
I think the rotation looks okay, but it doesn't hurt to go get another arm. Can't have enough pitching in your system. So that's,
Yeah.
I think, the Yankees need to work
I
on.
agree.
And they're going to have to figure out their core guys long term. Is George Lombard part of this team? Is Spencer Jones?
I think he will
Yeah,
be.
that's the important
I think
part,
so,
right? And that's
too.
the question you have to ask yourself, right? That's like, where
I'm not as sure about Spencer though.
you think he's a trade asset, huh?
I don't know. Like, I'm not sure because like they could sell really high right now because the season he had. They want to. I personally want to see him in the Bronx. I don't know if we will. I think we might, but like he has to play next year if he's still on the
Right.
roster.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be called up next year. So, okay, Chris, are you tapping out? We're gonna end soon.
Yeah, my battery's power is pretty
Yeah, I
low,
think
so
Chris-
I'm gonna have to tap out, Richard.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get going soon. But Rob, go ahead and close us down. How do you fix the Yankees from
Pretty much-
What do you think they need to do in the offseason?
Pretty much everything Rocky said goes with me too. I think, you got to figure out the bullpen, maybe get a starting pitcher, and you got to figure out what to do with Spencer Jones if he's going to be on this team or not. Because
Yeah.
I think absolutely he should be on your team. He should be. I think you guys trade away so many guys that end up doing well other places, man. Like.
There's been a couple of those too. There's been a long list.
Yeah.
We don't
No.
even go down
That's
that
what I'm
rabbit
saying,
hole, but
though.
I
You
know
need
exactly what
to
you're talking
keep
about.
him. You need to keep him and play him and hope he turns into the star that everybody thinks. Like.
What? I mean, if you think about it, he is built for Yankee Stadium, and it would be really tough to send him packing. He might hit 50 bombs if he gets full playing time in a couple years.
Better than Dominguez. I really do. I think he's more.
At this point, that's a fair argument because his defense is pretty smooth, and Jones has really underrated speed. Like he stole 40 bags in the minors a couple years ago. Like his size and speed combo is so rare. There's one issue, and you guys all know what it is: his strikeout rate. If he can cut down the strikeout rate, he's going to be a great player. That's the only problem he has. Everything else is very good. But you don't want him to turn into a worse version of Joey Gallo. That's his floor, and that's the problem. So if it was like a better version of what Gallo was when he was good, then that's fine.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that Spencer Jones's K percentage this last year was 35%, which that doesn't mesh well against good pitching. I mean, pretty much any pitching at the major league level, that's not going to mesh well. So if he can cut that down, sky's the limit with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he has so many good tools, like to be good. Like the thing is, like he did hit for like a decent average despite all the strikeouts. Like he hit 274. Wait, let me see. Yes, he hit 274, 362 on base, and a 932 OPS, 35 bombs and 80 RBIs despite all the strikeouts, 179 and 438 bats is very jarring, obviously, between AA and AAA. But despite that, he still had a pretty good year. But that's not going to play the same in the majors, obviously.
Yeah, it's all about development in the end, If he can improve that, I think, like you said, the sky's the limit, right? So you'd prefer he did that in a Yankee uniform than elsewhere.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. So everyone give their plugs, and then I'll give mine, and we'll close down. I want to, Dillard, go first.
You can find me on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. Bard has spoken too. I try to keep up with the playoffs with highlights. So I'll post them unless it's obviously Fox games because they're very picky about it. But obviously, I'll be ready to go for next year as early as spring training. So I try to keep up with all the teams in baseball. I don't just watch my team.
And I appreciate that, Dylan, because I'm branching off the Yankee stuff too, as you've seen. So I like going through other team stuff. You've been doing a great job. I love watching the clips and everything. Like I always share them and everything. Like you definitely help me a lot. Like it definitely makes my life easier when you post those. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
Chris, you're up, brother.
So my Instagram is my first name, C, then my last name, KAILATH. Same as my Twitter / X and TikTok as well.
Okay, and Chris also has Uncensored Pinstripes podcast with my buddy Anthony. So, yep, Pinstripes Uncensored. So, Chris, you've been doing good stuff with that, and I gotta try to get Ann on one of these times. I know he's been too busy. He never picks up his phone, man. But I haven't texted him in a minute either because I know he's been busy. Tell him I say what's good. I gotta get him in here soon.
I'll definitely let him know.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, Rocky, go ahead, bro.
Rob wants me to give his handles too, right? So I'll start out. Rob, you could give out your handles, and then I'll give the rest.
Okay, well, you can find me at Swales, SWAILES, Robert on X, and I'll let Rocky plug our pods and stuff like that. So go ahead, Rocky.
So on Instagram, we got two podcasts. We got the Sports Avenue Twisted and the Blue Jays Avenue. So on Instagram for Blue Jays Avenue, it's Blue Jays Avenue, and for Sports Avenue Twisted, that's the exact name, Sports Avenue Twisted. And on Twitter, our Twitter name is Sports AVETWIST, and for the Blue Jays, it's BJAVEPOD.
Okay, and also Rocky and Rob, they also cover other teams too. They don't just do Blue
we
Jays
do
stuff,
everything.
They mix it up with a bunch of other teams, reporters also. So you guys are good too because you do have your Blue Jay stuff, but then you also branch out. So I appreciate that.
Can I give a preview? So we got a Twins guy coming this week, and I recommend when it's out, you give it a listen. We're going to talk about the dissection of that organization, what went wrong, and what. Yeah.
Oh God, what didn't go wrong is a better question.
Oh man.
And like, can you tell him that can you ask him to ask what the hell was wrong with ever trading Louis Varro 5 years ago?
We're also going to talk about
on that because that's just
and we're going to talk about how the ownership, what they're going to do in the offseason, and they're going to tear it down completely. So we're going to talk about all that. So it's coming out this week. So check it out when you get the chance.
Joe Ryan watch. Well, I'm definitely
Pablo
on Joe
Lopez,
Ryan watch.
Byron Buxton
That'll be
too.
Fun. Byron wants to stay, I think, though, but. Yeah, I might have to crop this logo. Like, if I take out that background, the logo might work. Maybe I have to think how to do that. It looks better on the black though, opposed to how it was before. But all right, I'll plug my stuff. I just wanted to see that quickly, just for fun. Okay, let me see. I'll plug myself, and then we're gonna go. Not that one. Damn it, I had that one. Oh, damn. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So subscribe to my channel. It's Julian Ghilardi. This is kind of the Julian Ghilardi show or JG show. We're still working on early stages of episodes here. It's not on audio formats. We just go on Twitter and YouTube and I'll maybe snip some clips for TikTok or IG in certain situations. So subscribe to my channel. Hit me up on X at Julian Ghilardi 1 on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. I hate I would change to X to Dillard. So Instagram is Julian Ghilardi 11. TikTok and Facebook, you can find me out there on my name. You can check out the work I'm doing with World Baseball Network and Latino Sports as well. So guys, thank you. This was awesome. I know we really went through the bull run. Tough day from the Yankees side, good day on the Blue Jays side. So for Game 3, I'm not going to be here because I'm going to be handling the Tigers situation. So if the Tigers get eliminated or somehow other way around, if there's not a Game 4 and the Yankees somehow force a Game 4, I will return for that or some type of synopsis. That's the next time I'll be live on here. Dillard, you have an open invitation whenever you want to come back in the future. We can make it work. Rocky and Rob, you guys have an open invitation, especially with Yankees Blue Jays still
We gotta
going
do-
on.
we
or
gotta
can
do a
even recap it
crossover.
and whatever
Appreciate
happens.
Yeah, we gotta do a crossover.
Yes, I'll come back on. I'll come back on yours as well. Like once we want to dissect more
Definitely.
off-season stuff, maybe. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night and everything.